Heartland Today, Season 19, Episode 1. Recap. Hey Heartland fans, welcome back to Heartland Today. Season 19 is finally here. And wow, what a way to kick things off. The premiere came in hot, literally, with a wildfire threatening everything the Bartlett-Fleming family holds dear. From the moment the episode started, you could just feel the tension building. It wasn't just the fire they were fighting. It was fear, loss, and the weight of decades of memories tied to Heartland itself. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's break down everything that happened in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, because trust me, this one had all the feels. When a wildfire comes for Heartland, the episode opens peacefully. Jack and Lisa are out for a relaxing ride, just enjoying the day. But that calm doesn't last long. Suddenly, a herd of wild horses comes charging past them. If you know Heartland, you know that's never a good sign. Moments later, the two spot thick black smoke on the horizon. A wildfire is closing in fast, and Hudson, along with the Heartland Ranch, is right in its path. Back at the ranch, the family barely has time to react before emergency alerts start blaring on their phones. Evacuation orders go out, and just like that, routines and dinner plans are thrown out the window. It's all about survival now. Lisa offers up Fairfield Stables, her property, as a safe place for everyone to stay since it's not in the fire's direct path. So Lou, Amy, Katie, and little Lindy quickly pack up and head there. But Jack, being the stubborn old cowboy we know and love, decides to stay behind to protect the ranch. And of course, Lisa refuses to let him do it alone. At first, Jack's reasoning seems practical. He wants to move the propane tank, soak down the roof and walls, and make sure the house is as safe as possible. But once those tasks are done, Lisa urges him to leave, and Jack just can't. That's when it becomes clear. This isn't just about protecting a piece of land. Jack is clinging to the memories tied to Heartland, Marion, Ty, his family, all the moments that shaped his life. Leaving felt like letting go of all of that. When Lisa gently calls him out on it, Jack admits the truth. He's not staying because of pride. He's staying because he's scared to lose everything that Heartland represents. And that moment between them? Pure Heartland. Emotional, raw, and real. Lisa meets him where he's at, and together, they gather what truly matters. Family photos, keepsakes, even the door jamb with the kids' height markings, before finally deciding to evacuate. Hope in the rain, meanwhile, over at Fairfield. The rest of the family waits anxiously. The fear in the air is thick, and Katie opens up to Jack about being scared. In true Jack fashion, he comforts her with a bit of old-school wisdom, reminding her that as long as they have each other, there's always hope. And when he jokes about his aching knees being a sure sign of rain, well, you know what that means. Sure enough, later that night, rain starts to fall. The firefighters finally catch a break, and the flames begin to die down. When the smoke clears, the damage is devastating. Though Heartland and the Price Ranch are safe, Miley's new ranch isn't so lucky. Her barn burned to the ground, taking her dreams of starting a champion barrel racing horse business with it. But as always, Heartland's community spirit shines through. Amy and Jack rally everyone, friends, neighbors, family, to help Miley rebuild. The episode ends with a convoy of trucks and people showing up to lend a hand. It's one of those classic Heartland moments that remind you why this show has lasted nearly 2 decades. Jack and Lisa's choice to leave the ranch behind symbolized something deeper, that strength isn't always about standing your ground. Sometimes it's about trusting that what truly matters will survive, no matter what. A risky rescue before the wildfire chaos even began. Amy had been helping out a familiar face, Logan's ex, Miley. Miley's recently bought her own ranch, hoping to build a business breeding champion barrel racing horses. Her foundation mare, Queenie, is about to foal, and Miley is understandably nervous. So she asks Amy for help. Amy reassures her that Queenie's behavior is normal for a mare that's close to giving birth. Still, Miley's anxiety leads her to install a barn camera so she can keep an eye on her horse day and night. But when the wildfire spreads, everything unravels fast. Miley rushes to evacuate her horses, but Queenie spooks and bolts, forcing Miley to flee with only her other horse, Ace. When she gets to Fairfield, she's devastated. Amy tries to calm her down, saying horses have a natural instinct to find safety. But then Miley gets an alert from her barn cam. Queenie has returned, and the fire is closing in. Miley doesn't hesitate. She rushes back to save her horse. And of course, Amy can't let her go alone. She grabs Nathan, and together they ride out to help. When they get there, the situation is way worse than expected. Queenie is in labor, and she's stuck inside the smoke-filled barn. There's no time to move her, so in true Heartland fashion, Amy and Nathan step up and deliver the foal right there, surrounded by smoke and flames. It's intense, emotional, and nerve-wracking. To make things worse, the foal isn't positioned properly, so Amy has to carefully reposition it while Nathan fights off sparks and small fires. Just when it seems impossible, Miley arrives. Together, the three manage to deliver the foal, and it's a girl. They quickly load Queenie and her newborn onto the trailer and escape just in time before the barn collapses. Back at Fairfield, everyone gathers to see the new filly. Miley suggests they name her something meaningful, and Lindy comes up with the perfect name, Lucky. Lucky indeed. Even though Miley lost her barn, she didn't lose hope. The Heartland family and the entire community come together to rebuild, proving once again that this show is all about resilience, love, and second chances. But, of course, this experience leaves Amy emotionally shaken. Facing danger like that, and realizing how easily things could have gone wrong, makes her question the choices she's made, especially as a mom and a partner. All right, Heartland fans, let's keep going, because things are definitely heating up in more ways than one. After the wildfire drama, the episode took a quieter but deeply emotional turn, focusing on Amy's relationship with Nathan, her daughter Lindy's feelings, and a whole new layer of family and business drama thanks to Nathan's sister, Gracie Price, feelings of change. So, let's talk about Amy and Nathan. If you've been following their story, you know their relationship started slow, thoughtful, patient, and full of mutual respect. By the end of season 18, they finally said their I love yous. And when this episode starts, it's clear that things between them have only grown stronger. Amy's helping Nathan unload hay, they're teasing each other, and everything just feels easy, comfortable, like they've found a rhythm. But, as always in Heartland, peace doesn't last long. We find out that while most of the family already knows Amy and Nathan are together, one very important person doesn't, Lindy. Amy's been hesitant to tell her daughter about the relationship. And honestly, it makes sense. Lindy lost her dad, Ty, when she was still little, and that wound still runs deep. Amy's scared that introducing someone new could stir up those feelings again. Still, Nathan's patient and supportive. He encourages Amy to take that step, so she decides that after their next family dinner, she'll finally tell Lindy the truth. Of course, that plan gets completely derailed by the wildfire. When the fire hits and Amy has to leave to help Miley rescue Queenie, Lindy's fear of losing her mom kicks in hard. She doesn't want Amy to go, and when Amy finally returns home safe, Lindy says something that just breaks your heart. She tells Amy she doesn't believe her when she says she'll always come back. Because her dad said that too. And he didn't. That moment hit deep. Amy reassures Lindy the best she can, promising she's not going anywhere. But later that night, when she opens up to Nathan, it's clear the guilt is eating her alive. She's questioning everything, whether she made the right choice to help Miley, and whether it's the right time to bring Nathan into Lindy's life. Nathan, being the man he is, doesn't push. He tells Amy he'll wait, as long as it takes. That quiet, selfless moment between them said more than any big romantic scene ever could. It showed how strong their connection really is, even if it's being tested by fear, guilt, and the weight of the past. Amy's ready to love again, but she's still learning how to balance that love with being a mom who's helping her daughter heal. And that's one of the most relatable and touching storylines Heartland's done in years. Gracie's maneuvering now, Let's switch gears for a second, because while the wildfire had everyone in survival mode, Gracie Price had other things on her mind. If that last name sounds familiar, it's because Gracie is Nathan's sister and co-owner of Price Beef. She's smart, ambitious, and, let's just say, a little too business savvy for comfort. When Gracie and Nathan evacuate to Fairfield, the Heartland family finally meets her properly, and Lou quickly realizes she's met Gracie before. Remember the open house from the season 18 finale? That mystery woman Lou talked to? Yep, that was Gracie. And it turns out she was there to quietly scope out the competition. Naturally, Lou's guard is way up. Nathan, meanwhile, confronts his sister, warning her not to stir up trouble, especially since he's dating Amy. But Gracie clearly has her own plans. She's holding up a business deal between Heartland and Price Beef, one that would have both their products sold side by side in Crown Shoppers grocery stores. Lou, being the sharp and determined businesswoman she is, picks up on Gracie's game immediately. So she decides to keep her enemies close by roping Gracie into helping organize activities for the evacuees at Fairfield. That gives Lou the perfect opportunity to chat with Gracie one-on-one. Lou tries to reason with her, saying they'd be better off as allies than competitors, especially since Amy and Nathan are together. But Gracie's not buying it. She brings up the fact that Lou once exposed Nathan Sr.'s Alzheimer's diagnosis to Crown Shoppers, which caused a lot of bad blood between their families. Lou owns up to her mistake right away and apologizes. But Gracie isn't ready to let it go. That's when Jack steps in. Jack's advice and a new approach. After arriving at Fairfield, Jack catches up with Lou and learns that she's struggling to figure out what Gracie's angle is. And in classic Jack fashion, he drops a truth bomb. He tells Lou that he actually knows Gracie. She used to hang around Marion back in the day and really looked up to her. That bit of history changes everything for Lou. So instead of trying to outmaneuver Gracie, Lou decides to follow Jack's advice, drop the business armor and just be honest. She approaches Gracie again, this time not as a competitor, but as a person. Lou apologizes sincerely for revealing Gracie's father's illness, admitting that she crossed a line and truly regrets it. And for the first time, we see Gracie's icy exterior crack a little. She finally starts to soften, and the two women find a sliver of mutual respect. Gracie even admits that Lou will be tough competition, but she says it with a hint of admiration this time. By the time the evacuation is lifted and everyone heads home, Gracie sits down with Nathan for a heart-to-heart. She tells him the real reason she came back to Hudson wasn't to cause drama. It was to help him run Price Beef and turn it into a true success. Nathan's relieved, but he's cautious. He agrees to let her help, on one condition: Heartland and Amy can't be treated like the enemy. Gracie agrees. But let's be honest, she's not the type to stay quiet for long. She even tells Nathan she's going to sign the Crown Shoppers deal, and adds that she doesn't want to stand in the way of true love. Sounds nice, right? But if you ask me, that last line had just enough edge to make you wonder if she's really being sincere. Gracie might be playing nice for now, but it feels like she's still holding some cards close to her chest. We'll just have to wait and see how far she's willing to go, and whether her presence ends up helping or hurting Nathan and Amy's relationship. Katie's journey, meanwhile. Katie's story took a quieter but meaningful turn. While everyone else was caught up in the chaos of the wildfire, Katie had her own little subplot that showed just how much she's growing up. We see her spending more time with Dodger, so much so that she loses track of time while out riding and ends up late for her diner shift. It's a small scene, but it says a lot. Katie's coming into her own, finding independence, figuring out who she wants to be, and maybe even starting to follow in Amy's footsteps when it comes to her connection with horses. If the behind-the-scenes teases are any indication, we'll be seeing Katie embrace her ranching and rodeo roots a lot more this season. And honestly, that's exciting. It feels like her story is about to step into a brand new chapter. All right, Heartland fans, we've talked about the wildfire, the heartbreak, the heroics, and all the emotional twists in this episode. But there's one more major piece we need to talk about. Someone who wasn't there this time around. Tim Fleming. Missing but not forgotten. If you've been following all the fan theories and behind-the-scenes buzz leading up to this season, you probably already had a feeling that Tim wouldn't be a big part of Season 19, and Episode 1 pretty much confirmed that. First off, Chris Potter's name isn't in the opening credits this year. That's a pretty big sign that Tim won't be part of the main cast for this season, and even though there's been no official word from CBC or Potter himself, the premiere made it clear Tim's out living a different kind of life now. Even though he doesn't appear on screen, the family still talks about him, so he's not forgotten. We learned that after all his soul-searching last season, Tim accepted the rodeo announcer job he was offered. Now he's on the road, traveling with Jessica, calling events, and even finding a little bit of celebrity status as a rodeo commentator. And honestly, that feels like the perfect evolution for Tim's character. We even get a fun little nod to him when the family tunes in to watch one of his segments. Jack, being Jack, rolls his eyes and jokes that he's already tired of Tim's corny one-liners. Classic! It's bittersweet, though. After so many years of watching Tim stir things up at the ranch, sometimes in helpful ways, sometimes not so much, it's strange not having him there in person. But it's also kind of nice to see his story come full circle. He's finally found peace, purpose, and partnership, just in a different arena. Literally. So even if we don't see Tim this season, it's comforting to know that he's out there chasing a new dream, with Jessica by his side, and still very much part of the family in spirit. But what do you think? Will you miss seeing Tim around the ranch this season? Or are you ready to see the younger generation, like Amy, Nathan, Katie, and Lindy, take more of the spotlight? Let me know in the comments below, because I love hearing your takes on this stuff. Our final thoughts on Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. So let's take a step back. What a powerful way to start a new season. This episode had it all: danger, emotion, loss, love, and resilience. The wildfire wasn't just a dramatic backdrop. It was a metaphor for everything these characters are going through. Jack and Lisa had to face the possibility of losing the home that defines them. Amy risked everything to save a horse and its unborn foal, a moment that reminded us exactly why she's the heart of this series. Lindy's fears and Amy's guilt showed how grief still echoes through the family years after Ty's passing. And Gracie Price's arrival added a new layer of tension and intrigue. Because let's be honest, every good season of Heartland needs a little bit of drama. The writing was heartfelt, the pacing was tight, and the themes about legacy, family, and knowing when to hold on versus when to let go were classic Heartland. And even though the episode dealt with heavy stuff, it ended on such a hopeful note. The rain fell, the fire was put out, the community came together, and the family, though shaken, stood stronger than ever. If this premiere is any indication, Season 19 is shaping up to be one of the most emotional and inspiring chapters yet. We've got new challenges, new relationships, and maybe even a few surprises waiting around the corner. Heartland Today outro. So that's it for today's recap of Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. If you made it this far, you're clearly as passionate about this show as I am, and I love that. Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of the season premiere? Were you surprised by Jack and Lisa's decision to stay behind? How did you feel about Amy and Nathan's storyline, and Lindy's reaction? And do you think Gracie is really here to help? Or is she setting up for more drama down the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading through and replying to as many as I can. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Heartland Today, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new recap, theory, or behind-the-scenes update. We've got a lot more Heartland content coming your way this season, including episode analyses, cast news, and maybe even some fan theories that'll blow your mind. Until next time, this is Heartland Today, signing off. Stay kind, stay hopeful, and remember, no matter how tough things get, there's always a little bit of Heartland in all of us.